Welcome to our first installment of our videocast. We just came up with that title, we think. Video podcast wasn't really landing. Mike, hello.
Ahoy hoy.
I heard that 4 times last night. We should explain. Last night we tried our Anchor podcast with Paul and Patrick. And what do we got? Maybe 4 minutes total?
30 seconds the first time. Yeah, no more than 2 minutes.
A lot of connectivity issues. So I was fed up. Patrick could feel my anger in Florida. And I decided, you know what? Let's try Zoom. We can do a video cast, and I think we can upload this to YouTube. So you might be getting a visual. And I'm talking to you, Keith and Lute.
You can't avoid us.
No,
we're going to make you watch no matter what.
Yeah. So we have an agenda here. I'll go through the agenda. This is our first time. I'm not used to being watched like this. Oops. So we'll go through some happenings around the league, some new ones even from last night. We'll talk about the awards. So Cy Young, MVP, Rookie of the Year. Mike and I will make our picks. I have a story. I don't know if Mike will go through like some type of player from this week that you want to talk about. We'll go through our trade deadline moves, both fantasy and real life. And I'm going to take off team of the week because Patrick's not present, but we'll go through.
Sounds good. We'll save that.
So yeah, let's get right into our What's the Haps. Miguel Cabrera, 2,000 hits as a Tiger. We went through his stats last night. I think he's in his 19th year. And I think 10 with the Marlins. I had no idea he was in the league that long. But 2,000 hits as a Tiger, that's some monumental stat line, Mike.
Yeah, that's the craziest part is as a Tiger. I never would have thought that he was with them for that long. Same thing with the Marlins. I guess how old was he when he came in the league?
20.
He had to have been, yeah.
And so he was with Florida for 5 years, then got traded to Detroit when he was 25, or he might have signed a free agent. And now he's 37. So 12 years with the Tigers, 2 MVP awards, 5 Silver Sluggers with the Tigers, perennial all-star. We said last night, and we'll say it again because this is the only time you'll hear it again, is we think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, he's on from 2004 until 2016. He's receiving MVP votes every single year, even if he's not winning it. That's insane.
And he's an all-star all those years. And he beat Mike Trout twice.
Yeah.
And you said last night, I forgot, he had the Triple Crown.
Yeah, that was the least talked about thing in baseball. Like for a league that is so much about like its history and everything. Like that should have been a bigger deal.
It's because people were so adamant that Mike Trout should have won that year that they were almost like trying to ignore the Triple Crown that never happens.
Yeah, I don't know about. I get it. Mike Trout's awesome, but like, what the Angels? What's with them? Like they just can't. They can't put together a win.
They've even had Dylan Bundy producing right now, and they still can't win. What is it?
I have no idea.
Rendon.
They almost remind me of like the Sixers for an NBA analogy. Like, oh my God, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, top 5, both of them. And it's like, but they can't. They just make the playoffs. And I mean, Trout even has trouble making the playoffs.
Has he? I don't think he's even played in a playoff game.
Yeah, that's crazy. And he's going to go down as the best player ever.
Yeah, that's
never
hard. I think we had that argument on a podcast last year. Can you be the best player ever and never win a World Series was the question, but never make the playoffs?
Yeah, and I think after this season too, if baseball starts to change up a lot of stuff and they're not so reliant on the stats, it's going to be more about like the good teams than it is the good players.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Now, the other thing about this was the Dodgers. They set a home run record. They were 19-7 in August. and they set the home run record for the National League with 57. Now they put an asterisk next to it because this year's a DH, so they have more, I guess, chances to hit home runs. But
Yeah.
57, most in NL in a calendar month. But let me say, with the American League record, which is actually the Major League record, was set last year in August with 74 by the Yankees. So just last year.
Yeah, and I think even more than like for this season, it's the asterisk should be more for they're playing more games in a month than they would normally.
Good call.
So like that would be more of an asterisk, even though they're only 7-inning doubleheaders, and I don't know how many the Dodgers have had in the last month, but that would be a bigger deal, I think, for the home runs.
That's a good insight. But you had said last night, so last year with the juiced balls, we saw so many home runs.
Yeah, it was 3 at all-time home run seasons for teams. Out of the top 5 ever, 3 of them were last year.
And
so
it was
what did you say? It was Yankees, Twins, and Dodgers.
Yeah. I remember the Twins had beaten the Yankees record from the year prior by like August of last year.
Yeah, and I'm sure last year too, as far as teams having their highest home run total, that would be, I think that had to have been probably 50% of the league had more home runs last year than they've ever had in a season.
Yeah.
And more strikeouts.
Oh, man, it's hard to watch the strikeouts. You know, going off topic a little, I was listening to the Braves-Red Sox game last night, and John Smoltz was invited in. And he had been talking about how things have changed a little bit, only because the NL and AL, they both have the DH, and he's actually a fan of the DH, being an NL guy. But he's arguing for this, and he's also arguing for the second base and the extra inning rule where the guy starts on second base. He wants to keep that in. He said playoffs will be the same, back to normal. They won't do that in the playoffs. But he thinks those 2 rules will stay, DH and the runner on second and extra innings. This is the insight I'm trying to get to. He had said a lot of guys in extra innings are all trying to end it on one pitch, so they're all trying to just swing for the fences. You're getting a lot of pop-outs and strikeouts, so you're just pushing these innings. You can go deep 15 innings, where this is a better way to just get the game over. I've come around with both of those rules. It's kind of weird.
I love it. Because you see the good teams, the really good teams, they end up going 10, 11 innings because they're both scoring a run each inning.
Yep. You're right.
They're getting that runner home, and then I think it's more fun to watch.
It's more fun. It just hurts initially. All these changes hurt, I guess. But then you just kind of, as you see it, like I like the DH in the NL right now.
Yeah. And I've noticed there's some managers actually in the 9th inning, they're pinch hitting with somebody that they think can lead off, would be good on second base the next inning if they're out. So if it's 2 outs and they're bringing in a pinch hitter, they're bringing in somebody that can run. So the next inning, he'd be starting on second base if they go extras.
Can we call that the Dorn effect? Hey, go stand there in the batter's box.
Yes. Yeah.
Take 3 pitches.
He was so ahead of his time. He had no idea.
What other happenings do you have?
So actually last night it was, there were some big scores around the league. Giants, Cardinals.
Hold on one second. Harrison, good night. No, good night. Sorry, everyone. I'm home alone with the children. All right, Mike.
It's all good. That's why we do it live. So, yeah, last night, some big performances. St. Louis Cardinals, 16-2 over the Reds. Sonny Gray got just demolished in the first inning. Hit up in 2/3 of an inning for 6 earned runs, 5 hits. Notable for the Cardinals last night, Brad Miller, whoever that is, hitting .317, 4 for 6, 2 home runs last night for the Cardinals.
Brad Miller.
Other big scores, Giants. Where did it go?
23.
Yeah, and Alex Dickerson.
A-Day.
5 extra base hits last night. And for Dave, for your boys.
Oh, Braves. Oh yeah, Ozuna had 3 last night. So multi-homer games all around the league last night.
Yeah,
Ozuna was
3.
the first NL player to ever have 3 home runs at Fenway, as if that's a stat that should be repeated, but that was something I read.
That's one of the many 2020 stats.
Yeah, come up with something.
Yeah, so it's a race to pick up Alex Dickerson, I guess, on the waiver wire, guys.
Oh, let's talk. Do you have anything else besides the big scores?
Just one thing this past week. The last number in MLB history to be used was finally used. Yankees Miguel Yajur, not sure how to pronounce it. He made his debut, number 89. So that was the last number between 0 and 99 that had not been taken.
Ever.
Yep.
Not just
Relief
with the
pitcher.
Yankees. You're not just with the Yankees.
Yeah, that's all of Major League Baseball. Yep.
Wow. Again,
And only the Yankees would you have to resort to a number like that, because they're like, listen, guy, we only have like 6 left.
yeah, we retired all these, not thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Good segue to the Yankees Rays. Just this will be the last. What's the haps? I watched Chapman throw at Brosseau's head. I don't know Brosseau.
Mm-hmm. He hit a home run tonight.
Oh wow,
First inning.
anger.
Yep.
Angered him.
Yeah.
Chapman throws 101 miles an hour. That's scary. Scary shit. I don't know what the Rays had done prior much, but I do know that Cash came out and was like threatening. He said, I got a bunch of guys that can throw 98.
Yeah, he's got a stable guys that can throw 98. And the best is just seeing Aaron Boone's reaction when they told him that, and he's like, what? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, he's serious.
It's like, that's not a nice thing.
Kevin Cash is a Red Sox at heart, so he probably hates the Yankees. But that's
And he
kind of
admitted to throwing at somebody 3 years ago, right?
Aaron
No,
Boone
he
did.
said the Rays. He said there, other than that one that 3 years ago, this is like we've never intentionally thrown at somebody.
That was the quote. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like what he said. I don't like what they're teaching over there. I mean, it was an interesting way that you're teaching adults still. That's kind of cool to look at coaching as teaching, but I'm not all, I don't know. This year I just wanted to see some Astros get thrown at, but when you see Chapman throw like that, that was scary. That was the first thing I saw.
It's very dangerous. Like it's already dangerous throwing, 90, and then you see that, and I'm shocked he got out of the way.
Me too. He
just missed him.
So the Rays have been owning the Yankees head to head this year. I think it goes back a couple years. But what I'm excited for is a potential playoff matchup between those two teams this year.
Yeah.
That would be kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, and I mean it's fun to root against the Yankees.
Sorry, we have like how many Yankee fans in this league, but yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
The Rays are easy to root for.
They really are. Next segment.
Star Wars trivia? Is that what we're doing next?
He won't stop. So we wanted to do a pick of, I guess, can we call it mid-season awards?
Yeah, I'm kind of, with 4 weeks left in the season.
Yeah, let's do it. Mid-season awards. We have 3 awards we want to go through here. Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, and MVP. I would say let's do Cy Young first. You want to throw out, I know who you got for AL, so just do it. Just say it.
The Biebs, man. Come on, dog.
I agree.
Shane Bieber. It's been unbelievable. It reminds me of what having Chris Sale used to be like. Very similar.
Yeah, he's dominating.
But who was your AL pick?
Bieber. I mean, even if you look at the odds, it's like him and then no one's close.
Yeah, I basically had, if we were going to do it in a draft style, I had like 3 names for everything. But I just put Giolito because he's heating up. He had the no-hitter. And Lance Lynn has been really good.
Look how big he is. I've seen pictures of him.
He's like an old school pitcher, and he's just going to go deep. He's going to go after hitters too, which is everybody's going to swing this year. So
he throws a hard fastball. Now, I don't mean that to be stupid, but he throws like a fastball that's just seems like it's harder than someone else that I think Chapman throws a hard fastball, like a heavy
fastball.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Thank you. Whereas like Jamie Moyer does not. That would be the opposite. So
no, Jamie Moyer does not throw a hard fastball now or ever.
He could still go. But yeah, that's
for sure.
So I like Lance Lynn. I watched him last year. I haven't watched him this year. I saw pictures of him and I was like, is that serious? Is that a serious picture? Is that what he looks like now? But he's like reborn. Like he was good for the Cardinals, right? But never great. And now he's Cy Young material.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to watch. I think it's like what a lot of people thought Robbie Ray would be this year would be similar. And it just hasn't really panned out the same. But yeah, Lance Lynn's been awesome. And to be able to pitch in that ballpark and still keep your numbers down is kind of crazy.
Yes. Didn't Ray get traded? I think he got.
I believe so.
Blue Jays. Who do you have for
and I had my 3 names. Well, I had DeGrom because he's awesome.
Because he has to.
He's just so consistent. Yeah. Yu Darvish and Max Fried.
Yeah,
was my wild card there.
Well, Fried's, if you look, there's ESPN has this. Let me pull up the site. It's a MLB Cy Young predictor, and Shane Bieber is miles ahead of, and they have Liam Hendricks and Dallas Keuchel behind him.
Yeah, Keuchel's been pitching well.
And then
I'm not sure how he did last night. Oh yeah, he pitched against Pineda last night, so he did pretty well. Yeah.
But then Max Fried and Yu Darvish, they have Fried in the lead by a point, and then Darvish, and then they have Kenley Jansen, Kershaw.
Yeah, and we talked about would this be a year that a relief pitcher could win it, and like Jansen for the Dodgers. I mean, if there was a relief pitcher to win it, it would be that one.
Yeah,
and we're passing him around like he's Robert Covington. So.
I would go with Fried, but I'm going to just say we can't have anything nice in Atlanta, so Yu Darvish is going to win it.
Yeah, they are. Speaking of Atlanta, I have been hearing good reports for Pulte.
Really?
Yeah, they said his velocity's going up and his weight has finally gotten back up there. So I don't know. It's you're scared to like speculate. But with the weight loss, it was scary. So we'll see how he is.
You want to root for him? I do, clearly. But, like, it was noticeably altered, his weight. So, like, Chadwick Boseman, is that his name? The guy who just passed?
Yeah.
There was a picture floating around months ago, and you could tell he was thin.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say anything about him having cancer or being sick, from what I remember. And then when they announced his death, you were kind of like, wow.
Yeah, nobody knew. Even people that were, like, relatively, in the business close to him had no idea.
So to see, like, Fried lose weight like that, Fultonavich lose weight, you don't want to go there, but you have to think that way, I guess. So.
Yeah, especially for these guys that are, they're professional athletes. So any kind of freak weight loss or something like that is a red flag.
Yeah. Rookie of the year.
AL, I have. There's just a lot of rookies up this year, so you kind of could go in a lot of different directions. My number one, if I was gonna pick one, I'd pick my boy Lou Bob, Luis Robert.
I was like, I think I know. Yeah, I have him.
Yeah. He's been awesome. Karinchak, relief pitcher for the Indians.
I don't know him.
He's got this whole wild thing going on. Apparently, Charlie Sheen tweeted at him or something.
No way.
Yeah. And Kyle Lewis for the Mariners.
Yeah. Adam, that might be the pickup, one of the pickups of the year in the free agent market. Adam got him, and I was like, okay, yeah, Kyle Lewis, go ahead, pick him up. And now he's turning out to be
Yeah, and
maybe.
he has a lot. He strikes out a lot, but it's the thing is you can't fixate on that anymore because so many guys strike out. So like a guy with a 20% strikeout rate is like low now in
Yeah,
baseball.
you're right. Uh, Kyle Lewis, never heard
Yeah,
of
and
him.
it's let me see if I can find his first name. Karen Check. Did you have any other guys for rookie of the year for AL that you were?
No, they were. So that one's interesting. It was like a good battle, I feel. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Lou Bob and Kyle Lewis. NL, before, I don't want to go there yet, but NL was like a little like this. Who? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, and there's so many guys coming up and going back down that they're not getting a ton of at bats. So as far you can't really go on stats for a lot of them. NL, who do I have? Jake Cronenworth for the
Yeah,
Padres.
that's who I have down.
Um, the Padres they might sweep award season for because once we get to MVP, there's a bunch of guys on that team you could pick for that. Um, so it's Jake Cronenworth. And I don't know, he's not going to win Rookie of the Year, but he's pitching again tonight. Sixto Sanchez.
Yeah.
He looks filthy.
Um, well, Dustin May is actually picked high to win it. I thought he reached rookie limits last year. Apparently
That's
not.
the problem. I started to look at some of the names, and they were saying they're rookies. So like, I had no idea that guy was a rookie
Yeah.
because some of these guys have come up twice, and they just haven't been up long enough, so they are still qualified as rookies.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I had May and Cronenworth, and not. I want to give Keith some love. He picked up Cronenworth, and he's been pretty good for him, obviously. So
Yeah, Keith's had some good pickups.
he's up so early, he beats us.
Yeah,
And MVP. It was an interesting American League decision.
yeah. So obviously, yeah, Mike Trout.
He's up
We
there,
get
but
it.
I wouldn't pick him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Jose Abreu
Yes.
and Nelson Cruz. I know they don't give it to DH a lot, but he's been amazing.
Yeah, when you look at, I had Nelson Cruz. I don't even have another name. I think it was Trout was up there. Honestly, Luke Voigt was like
Yeah.
second in like OPS and homers, but
And honestly, I think if he stays healthy, LeMahieu can make a run at it.
yeah, he just came back. I was going to say it on last night's pod with
Yeah,
Patrick. He had 2 homers last night.
yeah, he's so consistent.
Yeah, so Nelson Cruz. I mean, I would right now vote for a DH. I mean, that guy's 42.
Yeah, yeah, and like, why not vote for a DH this year
Right.
when it's in both leagues?
Um, NL. Give it to me.
Tatis,
That's who I have.
Soto,
Yep, that's who I have.
and Betts.
So I took Betts down. Like I think Machado is giving Betts a
Yeah,
little
so
bit.
that was I didn't want to put two Padres on the list, but yeah, Machado and Tatis both they could be fighting each other for the MVP this year.
Yeah. Kind of cool to have that on the same team. Unbelievable in a way.
Yeah, and then Rookie of the Year possibility with Cronenworth.
They're fun to watch. I even like their
And
uniform.
they go and get Mike Clevenger.
He looks like a Padre. I feel.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. He just came out with some new IPA or something today.
On the mound.
Yeah.
Um, I won't do it again. But new segment. I won't press them. We'll do my story if that's cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'll try not to read verbatim here, but I was watching Sunday Night Baseball 2 Sundays ago. It was Braves Phillies. They actually did back-to-back Sunday nights of Braves Phillies, which I usually bitched about with the Yankees getting on, but whatever. Matt Van Scourgen asked A-Rod if he had ever seen the movie The Warriors. And then he compared the look of Clint Frazier, who had earlier in the night, he had the mask on.
Yeah, I saw him tonight. He has the wild red mop. Looks like
Yeah.
Carrot Top with a mask. Yeah.
So he said, with the white pinstripes uniform matching his white mask to a gang member from the Warriors. A-Rod hadn't seen it. Surprise, tool bag. And Van Scourgeon then says, "Oh, you'll have to Netflix it." And then there was a silent moment, like clearly like just quiet. And then A-Rod said, "Are you sure it's not on Disney Plus?" And now Sunday Night Baseball's on ESPN, owned by Disney. And then
So when they came back from commercial, and Matt Vasgersian was gone, and nobody said a word about it. The mouse came and got him.
I just kept thinking that someone in their earpieces was screaming that do not highlight our rival Netflix. You talk about Disney Plus. And then A-Rod just has to be like, and he said it in like a weird way, like, just, you sure that's not on Disney Plus? Like someone just told him that. That's my story, but it was just kind of weird to see it happen on screen where the competitiveness and I guess the viewership is you need it all right now. Just for him
and
to
like
say the word Netflix.
leave it to A-Rod to like throw his booth member under the bus and not just like tap him and say that.
Yes, I've gotten in some heated, I'm not going to say arguments, but discussions about the resurgence of A-Rod. And
he's very premeditated in everything, and everything he does and says is very much J-Lo.
You can't trust anything he says. He's clearly like just a fake person, prosthetic man.
Yeah.
I mean, he speaks
now
well.
I know we're talking shit about him, but the video did resurface yesterday of when he was coming up to bat for Seattle and the opposing manager made them take his bat away. So Ken Griffey Jr. gave him his bat and then he hit a home run on the next pitch.
I remember that story. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pre-roids. So that maybe A-Rod was kind of cool back then.
Yeah.
As he sat
Probably not, though.
on ESPN magazine or Sports Illustrated, right? Wasn't that he was shirtless on that magazine cover?
Yep.
Do you have a story or something you want to highlight?
Let's see what I got here. Just something. Oh, well, we'll get into the trades. I'll throw it in when we talk about the trades.
All right. So do you want to do fantasy trades or do you want to do real?
Yeah, let's hear where your mindset was making your trade.
Well, it started with Kyle texting me asking for Nola. He sent me he wanted a trade for Nola, but he wasn't giving me anything. Mm-hmm. Tim Anderson kept coming up, let me just say. And I do not want or need Tim Anderson. And we eventually he was on his way home. He was on his honeymoon in Colorado, and he was like, this trade took place in different states apparently. So Colorado airport, he said, I'm getting on a flight. So I said, can you wait till 2 and I'll look at it more? Because I just kept telling him no. Like he was not meeting. I was like, if you want Nola, you have to give me something of something that I need. You know, something.
Yeah.
Nola's a good pitcher.
That will benefit you. Yeah.
And then somehow he said yes to I looked at his team and I was like, Goldschmidt and Rendon for. I put in Gurriel, Yuli, Nola, and Jansen, and then he said put Dominic Smith in for Yuli, and you got a deal. And I was like, I don't want Yuli really anymore. So I said I want a pitcher, you know. And Hendricks, or he said Mad Bum, but I was like, I don't think he's pitching this year. I don't think they're going to bring him back, and the Diamondbacks are awful.
Yeah, they would have either sold him or they'll just sit him, and they didn't sell him. So
yeah. So anyway, long story, but I'd like to think I came out on top there, but I did give up Nola, and my pitching's starting to take a hit. I just dropped Freeland.
But yeah, he had a rough start yesterday, right?
Tonight.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm happy. I think I'll probably end up keeping Goldschmidt now and not keeping Cole. We'll see, but I don't know. I feel better. I needed hitting. My hitting compared to everyone else's was terrible, and my pitching was slipping. So it was like something I had to do.
Yeah, and you can't wait this year for anything. Like if a guy's going to be out for for 3 games, like just drop him. Unless he's one of your top guys, just drop him and pick somebody else up that has 2 double headers in 4 days or something, like.
Yeah. I find myself looking for doubleheader guys.
It's almost like playing daily fantasy with like 3 or 4 spots in your lineup throughout the week.
Yeah. I guess the other deal was last night, Keith and Testa. Keith gave Bregman and Vlad to Testa for Trevor Story. Now, I know for a fact Testa's been shopping for a keeper. So he's been, I don't know if he did it to you, but he was sending me crazy offers for like Garrett Cole.
Yes,
okay.
He did. I got a Bieber offer.
And because this year's very weird, I felt like I'm not going to give away keepers because it's a free year for us to keep.
Yeah. It's almost like this year you want to just keep moving until you get 3 guys that you want for next year.
Yeah. So it's a good move for Testa. He said he's going to end up keeping Bregman and Vlad, he thinks. And probably Robert or Robert. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, he's probably going to be a keeper.
And then Keith, I guess now, will keep Story, but Story's going to help Keith this year. That's kind of what the trade was.
Yeah.
I think it's a win for him too.
Let me see. I thought I heard did he have like a little like tiny injury the other day or something? No, it's fine.
What's the story?
It must have hurt. I don't know. I guess there is none. I can't find it on here.
I'm looking at JD Martinez stats. 215, 3 homers, 16 RBIs. JD Martinez. Awful. A lot of big stars down this year.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go to the actual trade deadline. Let me pull that up.
Yep.
So the big one is Clevenger, I guess.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, the big one for me was Starling Marte going to the Marlins.
You have Marte? You got him from Adam, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so the funny thing with him is VR was actually traded to the Jays. Marte to the Marlins. They were playing against each other, but Marte is actually gaining 5 games in the trade, and VR is actually losing 5 games in the trade.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Well, I guess, the Marlins had that week and a half off, so yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he's probably going to play more than 30. He might play more than 30 this year.
You're gonna win stolen bases by 1 stolen base because of Marte getting that extra.
That would be nice because there's not a lot of people stealing bases this year.
Oh, there are not. I mean, I think it was like Marcus Simeon has 3 on my team, and I'm like, nice. So yeah, that was a good one. Clevenger, I think, is a big one. It seemed like they wanted to get rid of someone. The Indians pitching, what do you call it, stable, to stick with Kevin Cash's words? I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, and we talked about it on the last pod, kind of how they weren't going to be in a rush to get those guys back because of the Tristan McKenzie start, and he had another good start in his second start. And they have somebody, I believe somebody pitching today for them, or yesterday, some other guy I've never heard of that was just did fine. Yeah, McKenzie's pitching again today.
Which Keith has too. Keith has him.
Yeah, he's got a 2-run lead right now, 2 strikeouts in the second inning.
I mean, I have Savali, which I love saying his name. I found out he's Italian. And so you have Aaron Savali, Pluko, who doesn't pitch. He's not in the 5. He might be now. Oh no, they pulled up Plesac because Clevenger's gone.
Yep.
Bieber.
Yeah, and he came back like nothing had happened. Like he didn't miss a day.
I got to bring it up until Keith dropped him, thinking he was just not going to come back. And then
it's impossible this year. Like you have to take some gambles too with guys. Like I picked up Casey Mize blind. Like I didn't hear anything about him coming up, and I picked because I knew that they were playing like shit. So I just picked him up, hoping that they called up him and the Tariq Skubal at the same time. But yeah, you wait, like you can't, and especially on pitching, if your guy's just sitting on your bench. Like I had the problem with Flaherty earlier, and it's just I couldn't get any pitching stats because it's just a starter just eating up a bench spot.
I kind of had that with Clevenger when he was on the. I was just like, he's kind of too good to like drop, but I traded for him too, so it was that extra like, he's mine now.
Yeah, and that's the unknown of this year. We thought we were being proactive to add the IL spots, but these guys aren't going on the IL
Yeah,
for COVID. So
it's been more annoying actually. The COVID
yeah,
games too, like
you find out about it, an hour before, if
there
that.
was it was funny. Keith was like adding people one day, when they were striking, they weren't playing their games. So he was adding someone, and then he said
That was a nightmare.
He would look back and see that, oh, they're not playing. So he would drop that guy and pick up someone else, and then they would drop when the game came off the schedule.
Yeah.
And Lute eventually texted and said, "Do you know they're striking? These games aren't happening." Keith was like, "Oh."
Yeah, and that's the thing that was like pissed me off, because I think one of those days there was a 1:00 game was supposed to start, or 3:00. So I had Franmil Reyes in, and they didn't play the game. So then he was locked in my lineup for the whole day, and that happened. But it was like nobody played, so it was like whatever.
You can't even blame like the fantasy system. They're just trying to stay afloat.
No, it's a room full of people just scrambling and trying to figure out what's going on every day.
So we talked about Jonathan VR, Marte, Robbie Ray to the Blue Jays, Mike Minor to the A's. Minor's been down this year.
Yeah. Which I wonder, are they? Did they really need starting pitching?
The Blue Jays? Oh, the A's. No, I mean they're they're almost like the Indians, where they just have people.
Yeah, because I keep waiting on AJ Puck to come up, but he's still on the IL. They've been working him out. He's been throwing, but I think he's going to be. They have him pegged as a relief pitcher or closer when he comes up. So Minor, I guess, would hit in the 5th spot. He would be the 5th rotation spot, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's a lot of teams that have a 6-man rotation going too, though, with all the doubleheaders, and the A's probably will when they come back.
And the Blue Jays got our guy Stripling.
Yeah.
And Ryu's been pitching so well. I was concerned about him going to the AL. I mean, this shortened season helps him. I think he doesn't do well in a long season, so this is actually a good year to have Ryu for Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the Dodgers too. I mean, I'm glad they moved Stripling. He's too good of a pitcher to be not this year, but he was an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was
he
great
has the
that
talent.
1 year. As a starter,
I think they really like Tony Gonsolin there. Yeah. So they were like totally fine moving Stripling.
You want to talk about
they're young pitchers for the Dodgers. That's insane. Dustin May, Julio Urias, Tony Gonsolin, like.
Just like, can we tell them please stop? Like,
I know, they're so good.
But good for the Padres. They're going to give the Dodgers a run now for the next 5 years, I feel.
Yeah.
So the only other thing I want to talk about your Mets, they got Chirinos, which is great. I like Chirinos. Mm-hmm. And Frazier, you said it in the group text. It kind of got lost amongst things, but what'd you say? Come on back home. Come back to daddy.
Yeah, I was hoping they would get Jay Bruce and you could just run it back.
Run it back.
But Todd Frazier. I love Todd Frazier, man, and he's not going to do anything crazy for fantasy, but he just looks good in a Mets uniform.
I actually agree. Sometimes you just like players for who they are. That's what
he's a
baseball
Jersey
does.
guy. Yeah, he's one of our Jersey guys. So
yeah. Cool. So I think that's all the trade, unless you have another trade that I missed here.
No, there was some smaller ones, but we covered all the really big names, the guys that are going to affect this playoff race going forward, I think.
Oh wait, Tommy Malone to the Braves. That's a big one. It's not.
No?
It's not. He came in and I was like, so the only interesting thing about him was that he got traded. The day he got traded, he took a charter flight and then started that game. And then he went through the first inning.
Yeah, I think didn't they sent him like a private jet so he didn't have to do any quarantining stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he proceeded to go 2 2/3 and give up 7 earned. So please come back.
Anderson.
Oh yeah, Ian Anderson's.
He's been pretty good for them.
He's he never really pitched in AAA even. So he's like their top pitching prospect. So they'll.
Yeah, there's some guys this year that they haven't even played AAA. They were AA last year, and these teams are like, we need bodies.
It's true. And not Fultonavich's body.
No, he needs his body, and then they can worry about.
All right. What are you listening to? Or reading? I'm going to add reading because I'm going to talk about a book.
I actually was going to bring what I'm watching.
Okay.
I've watched this show on Netflix called Home Game.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard about it. You maybe seen the thumbnail. It's like these different sports across the world, like some 100-year-old sports that are only played in these certain places. Each episode's a different one. So the first episode, it's about this game, Calcio Storico in Florence. It's like rugby. There's literally no rules. So there's 4 teams in Florence. They play a semifinal. Then 10 days later, they play a final because the guys are so beat up from the first game.
Yeah.
But basically, if you get knocked down, you have to stay on the ground until a goal is scored. The whole back of the arena is a net, like a thin net. But the guys are like, they're basically just gladiators, real life gladiators.
Are they intense?
Yeah, the guys that play in the middle are the craziest because basically, if you have the ball, you don't move until there's a way to get to the other goal. So the guys in the middle are just beating the shit out of each other, trying to get each other to the ground.
All right,
it's definitely not for. Don't watch it with kids, but
yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's another one they play. It's called Kokbaru in Kyrgyzstan. They basically play polo, but instead of a ball, it's a dead goat. So they're riding on horses, carrying a dead goat, and trying to drop it into a goal. It's insane.
It sounds insane. I feel
there's
like
a lot to take in there, a lot to unpack.
Okay, I feel like you could put anything. It doesn't have to be a dead anything.
So originally it was a dead wolf because they did it, I guess, some kind of ritualistic game. And then they're like, well, it's kind of hard to get a wolf, so let's just have a dead goat. I don't know when they're going to transition to like a not living creature, but
a porg. We could do a porg.
It'd be an easy shot.
It would be. What so home games?
Yeah, home game.
Anything else?
Nah, that's about it. That's the only new thing.
So I have what I'm listening to when I'm reading. So I'm really into Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I had seen the movie and was disturbed. But I just found the book. It was on a shelf we had that I didn't know. Now I'm like almost 3/4 of the way through. I'm obsessed. So good. I recommend it. It's good. I'm going to rewatch the movie, but I'm actually scared to do that. It has
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig.
I haven't seen it because I've heard similar to what you're saying.
So I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to say. Did you ever see The Glass House?
Yes.
Where the villain, the dad. Do you know who I'm trying to? I forget his name. Skarsgård is his last name. He's also in
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, older guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good villain, and he's in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and he was actually in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He was Barnacle Bill, I think. Bob Bill.
Yeah, he's in Thor. He's in the Thor. He's in the Marvel universe.
Is he a bad guy or a good guy?
No. He gets like mind controlled by Loki in one of the movies, but then he's a good guy ultimately.
Okay.
But I could see him playing a pretty terrifying person.
I've seen him probably 3 movies where he's the bad guy or the villain, and you're like, yeah, I get the casting. Very good.
Yeah. He's physically imposing too. He's a big guy.
He is big. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's older now. I think he's like late 50s, early 60s, but still something about him. And then when I'm listening to this guy named Bob Moses, who I really like, he just came out with a new album. He only has like 3 or 4 albums, but he's interesting. I recommend. It's like I guess it's called rock, progressive rock, and then Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. There's an
Is
album.
that a side project of Reggie and the Full Effect?
Remember them? It's called Up From Below. It's a 2009 album, but the reason you'll know one of them. It's Home.
Oh yeah, from Queens of the Stone Age. Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age and
Oh,
red
really?
hair guy.
Is it?
I think is
I
that
don't
Josh? No, somebody else.
Maybe. Anyway, what was the name of the movie? Newest Tarantino movie.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
He used Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros in one of the. And
Okay.
it just triggered something, so I started listening to them, and I really like them now. They're like old school sound, I feel, but newer. So that's kind of cool.
Getting a whole Charles Manson vibe going on. Was that?
Dude, you saw the movie?
Yeah.
It's eerie when you see him, and you only see him briefly, but it's eerie.
Yeah.
And
Those black eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good movie too. That's a highly recommended movie.
Yeah. For listening, we had talked about Logic's latest final album.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to Bobby Tarantino 1 and 2. Just
Adam was really
running that.
into Logic, and I like Logic. He's good for working out, actually. Very fast rapper. He's good.
Yeah, the Bobby Tarantino, those are like the good workout albums.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is a success. It's been really good.
And next time we'll wear our shirts for Keith.
What shirt? What? I missed it. Which one?
The Joe Kelly.
Yes. Oh, okay. He was spelling the word wrong, right? He kept saying
Yes.
"the." He meant "by," but then he ended up.
So.
He corrected himself later on a different word, and I was like, "Why won't he correct himself on the other one?" But
who has the time when there's 12 people texting? You know.
Yes. So the Joe Kelly shirt, I had actually worn it. I'm not gonna 2 days in a row. Yet thinking I was gonna use the fuel for the podcast last night.
Same. I had it on last night.
We were connected.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll wear it. That's great. Plan on that next week.
Yeah, I like wearing it. I've gotten a lot of comments wearing it to the gym. So
People love it.
That face. Yeah. Common enemy.
Everyone. Yeah.
Astros.
All right. Well, next week we'll have more people on, but this was cool. Hopefully I can get this up.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to attempt to not fuck this up.
All right. Adios. Godspeed.